Hey, Burton Richardson here. You may know that I made several trips to South Africa to the Zulu villages, and there I mainly learned Zulu stick fighting, but I also learned the spear and shield, which is fairly simple. There are definitely tactics and tricks to it, and then I also learned the Zulu axe, selepe. And the way I was taught was after I had learned Zulu stick fighting and they felt I was proficient at it, they told me that the axe is almost the same as the stick fighting. So if you think Zulu stick fighting and transfer to the axe, it's similar, not the same, but similar. And the reason being, number one, is since the stick has a ball on the end, it's weighted at the end, which means there's going to be certain sort of motions with it, right? You can take this as you're working, right? And you can do those drift shots. You can just hit with it. You can come in around and just all that kind of motion because of the weight out at the end of the stick. Well, the same thing here. The axe is weighted toward the end. So you have that same sort of thing. Now, generally, it will have a shield in this hand. And when they did it in warfare, they had the large shield from about here up to about here, and they would use that. And then they'd do their thing with the axe from there. But we can also do it with a smaller shield, and then in modern time, like tomahawk. I have a tomahawk program coming that is predominantly based on the Zulu axe, because this has been used in combat very recently, and to this day there are people down there, masters, that really know how to use this well. So I just want to show a couple things, and one is the idea of if you have a shield, if you have a distance and you have good distance, you can definitely work this thing from out here. Now, when you're hitting, you don't want to just hack, because, as gruesome as it sounds, but the truth of it, it can get embedded. And once it's embedded in bone, now it's stuck. It's basically immobilized, which gives the enemy a chance against you. So most of the hitting is you whip it out, you make a little circle at the end, you make a little circle at the end. So even with the shield here, when they have the shield, they would go here and they would come here and come back. It would be a nice little shot there, like this. There'd be some twirling, because the twirling is to change the person's focus, make them look here, up, and then come back in. So you see how this, sometimes from the other side, down here, they would sometimes come to the shield on this side, not as often, but sometimes if they can't get it to this side of the opponent's body, right, then they would switch it to the other side. A lot of times they would go here, hit up here, make the person block with their shield, and then go inside the shield. They would come up, hook the shield, right, pull it, and hit. So a lot of tactics, very, very functional. A lot of going to the leg with the axe than with the stick, because you can hit somebody hard in the leg. It hurts, but it's not a fight finisher. This, if you're in here, right, and you go here, that's a fight finisher. And notice I make sure when I'm doing that, I'm not taking a big swing through, because I'll hit my own leg. So they emphasize pulling it back here, and going on the inside of the leg, just to keep it to that open area, so you're not running it into yourself. So that's a little bit of motion from Zulu axe.